Hi scholars, welcome to video number 27. We're going to continue working on reading comprehension. We're still working on that packet that you guys picked up for May, for the month of May. We're working on Unit 10, Day 12. So we're going to look on answer how the main ideas are different, which is something that we actually looked on video number 26, but today's answer is not going to be multiple choice. It's actually going to be written response. So we're going to be reading two passages, figuring out the main idea, and then answering a question with it, so that way you guys are able to answer the rest of the questions on your own. Before we get started, we haven't played this game in a while, but let's do number of the day. I'm thinking of a number between 1 through 10. Okay, I have it in my head. And at the end of the video, I will tell you what that number is, and hopefully you guys were able to think of that same number. Alright, so grab your packets, grab your pencil, and let's get started. Alright scholars, let's start by reading the passage. We're on Unit 10, Day 12, and we're going to be reading oil spill, and then right under our title, we see a diagram. If you recall, a diagram is a picture with labels within, and then we have 4 paragraphs. Alrighty, so let's start reading paragraph number 1. As we're reading, you want to think about the main idea of each paragraph. Make sure you're reading with me. So let's start at paragraph number 1. Oil comes from under the ground. Sometimes it is in the ground, underwater. Oil wells are drilled in the ground under the water to get the oil. The oil moves up through a pipe. It goes up to a platform at the top of the water. So paragraph 1, basically the author is trying to teach me where oil comes from. Paragraph 2. In 2010, there was a huge oil spill. It was on all oil platforms called the Deepwater Horizon. A pipe carrying oil from the oil well broke. A big oil spill began. The oil spilled into the ocean. It spread quickly. The ocean filled up the lakes of oil. So paragraph number 2 is talking about a big oil spill that happened in 2010. Let's go into paragraph 3. This was bad for animals. Birds got oil on them. When they tried to clean their feathers, they ate the oil. They got sick and many died. Dolphins and turtles were also hurt by the oil spill. They had to swim through it. The oil burned their skin. The oil spread to the beaches. Miles of beaches were closed. Oil was all over. It was unsafe for all animals and humans. So paragraph 3 talks about the damage the oils cause specifically on animals, and then it just goes a little bit into it. Also explained that it caused damage to humans. However, paragraph 3 is mainly focusing on the damage that it caused on animals and how bad it was for the animals. Paragraph 4. Now life is mostly back to normal in the region. People are fishing again. People are back on the beaches. Let's hope that this does not happen again. Alrighty, so paragraph 4 tells me what happened after the oil spill. So it's saying that right now people are back to normal, back to their normal life or the normal region after the oil spill. So let's take a moment to think about what the main idea of the whole paragraph is. Not the whole paragraph, I'm sorry, the whole passage, because we're comparing main ideas between two whole passages, not just a specific paragraph, but the whole passage. Alright scholars, so in order for us to figure out the main idea of the whole passage, we're going to use our main idea clues anchor chart to help us out. So we know that to identify the main idea, we have to ask ourselves, what is the text mostly about? I have to look at the titles and headings, look at the pictures. Sometimes the main idea is stated in the first or last sentence, and I have to look for clue words that are used repeatedly. Not only that, but we have to think about the main topic so that we're able to build off our main idea from there. So if we think about it, the word that comes up over and over again is oil. So I know that the main topic here is oil, right? So if we go right here, it's in our title. We have oil right there. And I'm just going to go around the whole passage and find every time it talks about oil. Oil, the oil moves up through a pipe. It is replacing oil. It goes up to a platform at the top of the water. 2010, there was a whole huge oil spill. Now we have oil spill. It was an oil platform. There's oil right there. Oil well broke. The ocean filled up the lakes of oil. Oil. See if you guys are circling that. People are fishing again. People are back to the beaches. Let's hope that does not happen again. So we see the word oil come up over and over again. So we know that the main topic of this passage is oil. Now, what about oil was the author trying to teach me? Well, let's look at what we learned from this topic. We learned that oil comes from under the ground. So that's something that we learned on paragraph 1. So we learn where oil comes from. Paragraph 2, we learn about the big oil spill that happened in 2010. Paragraph 3 continues talking about the oil spill and how it affected the animals. And paragraph 4 talks about what happened after the oil spill. So it's saying that right now life is mostly back to normal. So if we think about it, it focuses on the oil spill that happened in the Deepwater Horizon. And we have to figure out what the main idea of the whole passage is. So if we put everything together, and remember when we think about main idea, we think of it as a puzzle, like you want to put all those pieces together. So in this passage, we learn that the main idea is that Deepwater Horizon spill was a large oil spill that caused damage to many animals and humans. So that's what this whole paragraph talks about. The reason why it told me where oil came from is so that it was able to tell me how a huge spill caused a lot of damage to animals and humans. If you notice, it's telling me right here how oil, some of it comes underground, and sometimes it is in the ground underwater. And if you notice, the oil spill that it's talking about on paragraph 2, it happened in the Deepwater Horizon. So this whole passage, is teaching me that there was a big oil spill in the Deepwater Horizon, and that caused a lot of damage to animals and humans, because paragraph 3 talks about the damage that it caused to animals. And it gave me examples on how birds were suffering, and how turtles and dolphins were suffering. It also talked just a little bit about how it also affected humans. So the main idea of this whole passage is that Deepwater Horizon oil spill was a large oil spill that caused damage to many animals and humans. So I'm going to write that down to the side here, because that information is going to help me out. The Deepwater Horizon oil spill was a large oil spill that caused damage to many animals and humans. Okay, so take a moment to pause and write this down, and then we're going to move on to discuss the next passage. Alrighty, so now that we wrote this down, let's move on to the next passage. Again, you want to think about the main idea about is like what the text is mostly about, or what the author is trying to teach me. So through this passage, the author taught me that the Deepwater Horizon oil spill was a large oil spill that caused damage to many animals and humans. And again, first paragraph told me where the oil comes from, which in that case, it helped me understand how the oil spill could affect many animals and humans, especially in the water. So now let's go on to the second passage. Okay, so in the second passage, we see the title called Fixing the Deepwater Horizon Oil Spill. As you recall in the first passage, it talks about the Deepwater Horizon oil spill. So I'm assuming that this one is going to be very similar to that passage, but I'm sure there's going to be some differences. So in this case, it's probably going to talk more about how they fix the oil spill, while the other one was more like informing me that there was an oil spill. So let's start by reading our passage. We see our title, we see pictures, and right under our pictures, we see our captions. Remember, a caption tells me what is happening in the picture. And then we see heading and heading right there. So let's start with our title, Fixing the Deepwater Horizon Oil Spill. In 2010, there was a major oil spill. It hurt animals and their habitat. It happened on an oil platform called Deepwater Horizon. So paragraph 1, the main idea is to tell me about how in 2010, there was a major oil spill and it occurred in the Deepwater Horizon. And that affected many animals and their habitat. Paragraph 2, a big problem for animals. The spill was bad for birds. Birds clean their feathers with their beaks. Since the oil was on their feathers, they ate the oil. The oil was a poison. It killed many birds. Dolphins got burns from the oil. They also had to breathe their toxic oil fumes when they went to the surface for air. Whales were hurt as well. They have thick hair-like teeth called baleen. They could not catch their prey with oil in their baleen. Turtles ate the oil by mistake. Many died. The oil also burned their skin and eyes. The oil was in their habitat. Some turtles had to swim in it. This made many go blind. That's really crazy, and that is very true. Unfortunately, the oil affected many animals, and I learned that in paragraph number 2. So the main idea of paragraph number 2 is telling me how the oil hurt many animals. So from that paragraph, I learned how it hurt them. Not only did it tell me that it hurt them, but it told me how, by giving me examples of the birds getting poisoned by it, and the dolphins getting burned by it, and the whales not being able to eat because they had oil in their teeth, and the turtles and animals going blind because of it. So paragraph number 2, the main idea of paragraph number 2 is how animals got hurt due to this oil spill. Now let's go into paragraph number 3. Fixing the problem. Before we go to paragraph 3, let's look at the picture. On the right, we have a pelican who's covered in oil, and in the left, a dolphin is found dead after the oil spill. Paragraph number 3, fixing the problem. People had to stop the oil from spreading. They used nets to collect it. They also used big vacuums to suck it up. People cleaned the animals. They put them in tubs of warm water and soap. Animals were washed carefully. Cleaning them took weeks. The oil was thick and hard to take off. It's our job to fix our mistakes. Accident caused by humans must be fixed by humans. So paragraph 3, the main idea of paragraph 3 is how humans fixed or try to fix the problem with the oil spill. So I learned that people worked to stop the oil from spreading, which is the main idea of that paragraph. And then they did it by using nets, cleaning up the animals. So that whole paragraph tells me how the oil was clean, and it was how people stopped the oil from spreading. So now that we have that, let's figure out the main idea of the whole passage. So again, we're going to use our main ideas clues to help us figure it out. So I want you to take a moment, and I want you to find what the main topic is. So what word do you see come up over and over again? Go ahead and do that. And then once you're done, hit play, and we can continue. So if you circle oil, you are correct. Oil is the one thing that comes up over and over again. There was an oil spill, oil right there. We see oil over and over and over again in our passage. So we know that the main topic of this passage is oil. Now, what about oil did we learn? Well, we learned that there was a big oil spill in the Deepwater Horizon, and that it hurt and killed many animals. This one talks about how it hurt and killed many animals. However, people helped to fix this problem by collecting the oil and cleaning animals. So the main idea of this whole passage is that the Deepwater Horizon oil spill was a major oil spill, because it talks about right here, and it hurt and killed many animals, but people helped fix the problem by collecting the oil and cleaning animals. So we're putting all of the pieces together. Paragraph 1 talks about where the oil spill occurred and how big it was. It was a major oil spill. Paragraph 2 talks about how it hurt the animals. And paragraph 3 talks about how people what people did to prevent the oil from spreading. So if we put all 3 paragraphs together, we come across with the main idea being that the Deepwater Horizon oil spill was a major oil spill that hurt and killed many animals, but people helped fix the problem by collecting the oil and cleaning animals. Again, we put all 3 main ideas together into one to create the main idea of the whole passage. So we're going to take a moment to write that down to the side. So the main idea of this paragraph is that Deepwater Horizon oil spill was a major oil spill that hurt and killed many animals, but people worked together to sorry guys, many animals, but people worked to prevent the oil from spreading by collecting it and cleaning the animals. It's a lot of writing. Okay, so take a moment to pause and write that down, and then hit play once you're ready to move on. All right, so now that we're done writing it down, if you noticed, our main ideas are somewhat similar. Both of them talk about how the Horizon oil spill was a large oil spill that caused a lot of damage to humans and animals. However, the second passage adds a little bit more into the sense that it also talks about how it did cause a lot of damage to animals and humans. However, people helped fix the problem by collecting the oil and cleaning the animals. So in this passage, one of the big differences between both passages is that this one talks about, it teaches you how people helped fix the problem, while in this passage, in the first passage, it just talks about how it caused a lot of damage, but it doesn't really talk about what people did to fix the problem. But again, in this fixing the Deepwater Horizon oil spill, it talks about what people did to fix the problem. So that's one of the differences, which is good to note because that's what we're going to be answering today. So if we look at our directions, it says directions. Read the passage oil spill and fixing the Deepwater Horizon oil spill. Then answer question number 1. From oil spill and fixing the Deepwater Horizon oil spill, how are the main ideas of the text oil spill and fixing the Deepwater Horizon oil spill different? So I'm going to take a moment to underline my title. From oil spill and fixing the Deepwater Horizon oil spill. How, so that means I'm going to explain, how are the main ideas of the text oil spill and fixing the Deepwater Horizon oil spill different? And I triple underline different because I'm looking to see how they're different. Not the same, but different. Take a moment to circle your keywords, and then let's move on to answer the rest of the question. So all I'm looking to see is to see how they're different. Now, we already somewhat answered that question because we did the main ideas of both passages, and we discussed it right now. We know that they're different because the first one talks about how the Deepwater Horizon oil spill was a large oil spill that caused damage to many animals and humans. And the second passage is different because it talks about that, but it also talks about what people did in order to help fix the problem. So, how are the main ideas of the text oil spill and fixing the Deepwater Horizon oil spill different? The main idea, and I'm going to write in a complete sentence. Remember that we always want to write in a complete sentence. The main idea is different. We want to see how they're different. So the main ideas of the text, sorry, I'm going to fix that because that doesn't sound right, of the text oil spill, and I'm going to put quotation marks because that's the title, and fixing the Deepwater Horizon, and try to write with me, Horizon oil spill, are different because, and then I want to state both main ideas, because the main idea of oil spill is that the Deepwater Horizon oil spill, that the Deepwater, and I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to show you guys what I'm writing, but I'm also saying it so that you're able to catch up with me. The Deepwater Horizon oil spill caused a lot of damage to humans and animals. And then and the Deepwater, fixing the Deepwater fixing the Deepwater Horizon oil spill. Let me read it. So the main idea of the text, oil spill and fixing the Deepwater Horizon oil spill are different because the main idea of oil spill is that the Deepwater Horizon oil spill caused a lot of damage to humans and animals, and the fixing the Deepwater Horizon oil spill has the main idea that sorry guys, I'm trying to like make sure that it sounds right. And the fixing the Deepwater Horizon oil spill teaches us, because that's the main idea, teaches us or tell us that the Deepwater Horizon oil spill caused a lot of damage. Okay, sorry guys, I'm gonna show you right now when I'm done. Caused a lot of damage to animals and humans, but people worked together, worked to fix the problem. Okay, so it's a lot, I know, but we have to include both in order for you to be able to find that difference. So go ahead and take a moment to pause and write this down. Okay guys, I went ahead and changed tell us to taught us, because it didn't tell us, it taught us that the Deepwater Horizon oil spill caused a lot of damage to animals and humans, but people work together to fix the problem. So that's the main idea of that passage. So that's how they're different. One of them only focuses on the damage, the other one focuses on the damage and how people work together to fix that damage. So now that you're done, we're done with this lesson. All you have to do is answer question number 2 and 3. Make sure that you're looking at what passages you're reading and then answer those questions in a complete sentence. Again, I know it's a lot, but you have to be very detailed with your answer in order to point out the difference. All right, scholars, we're done with that lesson. We are going to continue working on main idea tomorrow. Tomorrow's lesson is going to be very similar. Don't forget to read the passage, figure out the main idea of each passage before you answer the questions, because that's going to help you go a little bit faster when answering those questions. And if you have any questions, again, don't forget to let Mr. Willow or myself know, and we will be more than happy to help you. The number that I was thinking of was the number 3, so I don't know if you guys got it right, but let me know if you did. I will see you on the next video.